Yeah.
Got to a point where I was in a super negative place. Angry, felt like everyone had ulterior motives, just not happy overall.
Yeah, that happens when you read the comments. I'm telling you, man, it's because as a YouTube, I get those comments and I'm just like, good, this doesn't even make. Are you even talking about this video? What is it? Hey, you got to stay out those comment sections because man, you start reading the comment section of your videos, yeah, that would definitely have you depressed. I'm telling you.
I had to check myself and be like, okay, hold up. Why am I feeling this way?
Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. Today we're with Tanisha Talks. Let's try that again. Welcome back to Money, Marriage, and Media. And today we are with Tanisha Talks. Are you the problem? Signs you have a victim mentality. For those of you that don't know, Tanisha Talks I would say follow her. She has great discussions about self-discovery and holding oneself accountable. It's good stuff. Let's go.
Things never go your way, negative things happen as a result of others, and that everyone is out to get you, you may have had a victim mentality. A victim mentality is when a person feels like a victim across situations, even when the evidence suggests otherwise. They may feel they have no control over what happens to them. This outlook can impact many areas of your life, like relationships, work, and health. The interesting thing is that victim mentality is often a trauma response and can develop as a coping mechanism for past traumatic experiences, especially during childhood. And there are
Translation. We need to do a better job of raising our kids so that they don't develop into soldiers for the gender war. What she's talking about is a soldier. It's classified as a soldier in the gender war. Yeah.
Are a lot of signs, often placing blame on external factors or other people when things go wrong, having trouble taking personal responsibility or seeing how you may have contributed to a situation, being overly critical of yourself or others, self-sabotage, associating only with people who think like you, harmful thinking.
The only thing that's missing is that I'm going to blame the opposite gender. Yeah. Ooh, boy. Let's keep going. Good stuff.
Patterns or pessimism, ruminating over past wrongs and hurts, difficulty with intimacy and trust, emotional unavailability, limits.
There it is. Difficulty with intimacy and trust. And it's almost like, hey, the guys, what guys struggle with, difficult with intimacy, and what ladies struggle with, trust. Can't make this stuff up, man. I'm telling you, soldiers in the gender war. We need to do a better job of raising our kids so that they can work in cooperation with one another instead of having this stuff going on.
Empathy for others, trouble accepting constructive criticism. When we have a victim mentality, we view the world from a lens of good versus bad, and we often see ourselves as the innocent one. Everything outside of ourselves is the bad. Full transparency, I recently had an epiphany that I had adapted a victim mentality. I can be very distrusting of others, and oftentimes I feel like people have ulterior motives. If you've been following my channel, you'll know that I've actively battled anxiety and depression, and I've been pretty transparent about the process. I sat up in bed the other night and was like, wait a minute, it's been a while since I felt consumed by my anxiety and depression. Yay! It made me feel so proud, and so I wanted to share some of the changes that I've implemented that have caused a huge energy shift within the past couple of months. I love this quote by Maya Angelou.
If you don't like a situation, you try to change it. Do whatever you can to change it. And if everything you do falls flat, yes, and you can't change it, then change the way you think about it. Move to another position to look at it. In doing so, you may find a new way to change it.
I know that some of you may not want to hear this, but many, if not most, situations are changeable. How many times have you complained about something?
You know, a lot of times we'll come across things that the things that we complain about, work, relationships, the reality is that most things are fixable. It's just that it's easier to complain and not have to do anything. But when you're in a situation, I love what Maya Angelou said, is that, you know, if it's something that you can't change, then maybe you need to change your thinking, is how you're viewing it. Basically what it is that you may be looking at the situation wrong. Instead of complaining about it, okay, well, how can you use it to your advantage if it can't be changed? But most things can, though. It's just a lot of times we don't want to do it. We don't want to do the work it takes to do it. And this is true about relationships. This is why a lot of relationships end, even though, or specifically marriages. The person was good enough to marry, but all of a sudden now they're not good enough to work on said marriage with. So, oh, it's too hard. I don't want to do this. It shouldn't be this difficult. I'm done. You give up way too easy. And again, a lot of that stems from being soldiers in the gender war. We're raised not to work in cooperation with one another. So, yeah, that's what you get. But let's keep going, though. It's great stuff.
Without taking any initiative to change the situation. You're not confident about your body, but you refuse to change your diet and exercise regularly.
Ooh.
You say you hate your job, but you're not taking the steps to look for a better one. Pow, pow. Shot to the heart. I recently got to a point where I was in a super negative place. Angry, felt like everyone had ulterior motives, just not happy overall.
Yeah, that happens when you read the comments. I'm telling you, man, because as a YouTube, I get those comments and I'm just like, good, this doesn't even are you even talking about this video? What is it? Hey, you got to stay out those comment sections because, man, you start reading the comment section of your videos, yeah, that would definitely have you depressed. I'm telling you.
I had to check myself and be like, okay, hold up. Why am I feeling this way? And I realized that I was just super unhappy in multiple different areas of my life. I started experiencing a very rapid weight gain, which I now realize was due to stress, not sleeping, and just needing to tweak my exercise. But for the first time in my life, I felt super self-conscious about my appearance, and that spilled into other areas of my life. Then one day, I just got tired of myself, tired of the negative self-talk, tired of sulking and feeling like I never was going to be confident again. And I decided to make some changes to my lifestyle habits. Getting to bed at an earlier time, adding more cardio to my workout routine. Something that's really been helping me on my fitness journey is a product called Magic Mind, which you might be able to see it right here. They're these little green productivity shots that really give you a boost of energy.
Skip.
Check it out. So yes, by making the decision to change my behavior, which were my lifestyle habits, right? I've been able to combat something called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is observed in both humans and other animals when they've been conditioned to expect pain, suffering, or discomfort without a way to escape it. Eventually, the animal or human will stop trying to avoid the pain or discomfort at all, even if there is an opportunity to truly escape it. When humans or other animals start to believe that they have no control over what happens to them, they begin to think, feel, and act as if they are helpless. So in the example that I gave about working out, if I would have looked in the mirror and been like, oh my God, my body, I hate it now. I'm never gonna get my old body back, so I may as well not even try to exercise. What's the point? That would be an example of learned helplessness. If you're feeling attacked, again, I've been there before and I get it. Some common symptoms of learned helplessness are low self-esteem, being easily overwhelmed or flustered, the ideology that bad things are just always going to happen to you, so you don't put any effort to avoid challenges or to overcome them, and giving up on things relatively quickly. Most situations that we find ourselves in, we have the ability to change. It's just a matter of us not wanting to do the work. But in situations that can't be changed, at least not in that moment, a mindset shift is needed.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. Mainly because I want you guys to go watch the rest of this video on her channel, not just here, so she gets the credit for the views, right? But also is that what is it? How is this relatable to what I talk about on my channel? Well, this relates to self-improvement. Okay. Which is, believe it or not, is a part of dating to marriage-minded people. Because a lot of times what happens is we say that if you're a woman, you're saying that there are no good men left, and same thing that men say for the opposite gender, right? But the reality is that it goes back to what she said in the beginning. Are you the problem? How is it that the good women are not receptive to you? You got to do something about that. Or, I don't know, you settle for what you are attracting. Now, most guys are going to go with the second option instead of the self-improvement track. Now, again, I'm not, this isn't a self-improvement. I'm not a coach for dating or whatever. All I talk about on my channel is the benefits that come with rebuilding the community, and marriage is being one of the ways of doing that. So how does this relate to my content? I told you that, a lot of the problems in our community can be stemmed back to the way we're raised. We're raised to be soldiers in the gender war. Now, a big component of overcoming that means that we have to address the issues that we have, and we have to figure out the steps that we're going to do to repair the damage that has been done. And this lines up with what she's been talking about, is that it is a mindset. You may not be able to change, the first, 18 years of your life and how you were raised, but recognizing the fact that there is a problem. And then what are you going to do about it to change your perspective? That's the important key here. And then remember what we said earlier in the video is that most things are changeable. Now, how does this relate to dating to marriage? Well, you are who you are, meaning that the things that you qualify for in a spouse, unless you do something to change or to improve yourself in the areas that your potential spouse is that they care about, then you just need to go ahead and settle for what you got. Most people say that they don't want what's available to them. So that means you need to self-improve. For men, I would say that you work on self-discipline, integrity, morals, and ethics, the dime, right? You can talk about I know most of these YouTube channels, they tell you need to improve your money, get your money up, get in shape, and, work on frame and all this other good stuff. But the reality is that number one, there's only so many resources out here. Average income is average income. And maybe you're below average, then you do need to do that. But for the most part, I would say work on the dime first. Usually, if you can master the dime, because of those character traits, it will usually lead to an increase in income. But I would say work on those things first. Unless you're just below average and you can't afford to, support yourself, then yeah, you do need to do that. You do need to go make more money. But if you want to make more money but you don't have any character, that money's not going to last. Yeah, that's just plain and simple. But for ladies, what I would say is that, this speaks to the argument against, I've said this on a panel before, because a lot of men will have you believing that women just can't self-improve. Baby mama is a death sentence when it's not. It's the same thing with all these other things that men complain about. They're not death sentences. What they are is it's signs that you have more work to do in order to balance the equation. You got a kid already? Okay, well, what other qualities do you have as a woman, as a potential wife, that a man can benefit from? Whatever those are, then you need to go work on that, because you can't change the kid situation, right? The child's there, you had him, you're gonna raise him. Okay, so what else can you do to bring value to your potential husband? Same thing with a guy. You're fat, okay. You don't want to work out. Okay, well, then you better go do some things that are going to make up for the fact that you're overweight, because most women don't want overweight guys. They don't want out of shape men. Okay, well, cool. You're short. Again, dude, pick a struggle and go maximize the other things so that you can be the total package. And another famous YouTuber said that, and I can't remember his name. I do know it was a guy. But in that instance, he is right. You know, you need to, guys, you constantly have to self-improve. And so do women. So there's no way that you should be, you know, the same person that you were 5 years ago. You're supposed to be improving over time. But this is a great video. Like I said, Tanisha Talks. Go subscribe to her channel because she does a lot of videos that deal with self-improvement and things that you can do to improve your situation, which is good. All right. But I'm going to say goes to the next time. Peace. Good talk. High level conversation.